Hi, my name is Mike and have another video. And this time we're going to go into the male side instead of the female side. And this time we're talking about men that chase hot women end up as a simp. Okay. Now, does it mean that all men that chase the hot women end up as a simp? No. The successful ones, the successful guys, a lot of times when they do catch the hot women, they might be Chad and have a lot going on in their life, but that's only 1%. So we're going to forget about them. The rest of the world, the rest of the male mortals, have a hard time when you have a very attractive woman and maybe you brought up the courage to talk to her, or maybe you know her from school, college, I don't know, whatever. You bring up the nerve to talk to her, and it doesn't turn into a relationship, and now you are in a question mark with this woman. So we got the woman, and you're in a question mark with her. She's kind of not putting it out there that you are a friend, but you're pretty much going to end up being friend zoned, as they say it. This relationship now, you have access to her, but you don't have the access to her in a relationship. You have access to her, let's say it's a friendship. This is the absolute worst place for a guy to be. Okay? And what the man does is, remember, this is the masculine. In the masculine, it's the head, the arms, the legs, and also, to control the opening and closing, when you go to the bathroom. This is what is the parts of the man. The torso is not the man, that's the woman. The torso is not the man. So when she is very hot, what ends up happening is that you end up becoming a fan, because you kind of see yourself down here and you see her out there, so you idolize her. You don't see her as a person. You see her as the ideal woman. And when you see that, then you become a fan. And it's funny that they call it OnlyFans. You become a fan to this hot woman. You cannot put yourself in this position, because when you're a fanboy to this hot woman, you might either step on your tongue, or what you're doing now is that you are now becoming the covert narcissist. Okay? So if you got the hot woman, she is surrounded by the orbiters. Okay, these are all guys that she's not having a relationship. They're either offering her, either they're paying for all her stuff, giving gifts, an emotional, you could say it like this, you become the emotional tampon for the hot woman. It's horrible. It's horrible. Bad place to be. And like, as and a lot of times, men end up spending years trying to play the long game to try and get this hot woman. And then you end up being a simp. And the simp, to her, unconsciously, she hates you. She hates you unconsciously because underneath that, you're schemer. And this is the problem with simps. When you're simping for a woman, you're schemer. You're waiting for her to be in a point of weakness so you can attack. You got to understand what you're doing here. You're creating a situation where, the nice guys finish last. This is not a nice guy. You're not a nice guy if you're simping for a hot woman. You are a covert narcissist. You are under the radar, waiting for your opportunity, like a spider, to go grab her and bring her back down to your cave. it's not going to work out. It's just not. You lose all your power as a man, and while you're simping, it creates something inside the man that makes you invisible to women. You have a creepness factor to you. You get this when you're in the covert narcissist fanboy supporting the hot chick. So what do? Well, first thing is the hardest thing for the man to do is the approach to the woman. So we got the woman, and not to be a simp. If you like her, she's in your circle. What you do is you convey. You want to go out. If you know her for a while, say like, let's go get something to eat. Let's go on a date or something. Make sure that you're clear your intentions. That she knows it's a date and not like two friends getting together. Clarity. Because the man gets his power. The man gets his power when he speaks the truth. And a funny thing happens when you're dealing with a woman. Now, I didn't draw them, make them equal. A funny thing happens when you're dealing with a woman and you really say the truth. This is so crazy. When you really say the truth, it becomes like a power. The power is in the truth. The truth is the hidden alpha, or the hidden God is the truth. What hot women do with the simps is they make them swallow their truth. Because they have that covert narcissist wanting to grab the hot chick, the hot woman, they're not telling their intentions. So then they're constantly lying to the hot woman. If you're lying to her, she's going to shit on you. I promise you this is going to happen. Promise you could spend years orbiting her like all the other orbiters. Speak the truth. Hey, I like you. Let's go do something. I don't care what you say. If she's into you, she knows if she's going to be with you in the first 8 seconds. In the first 8 seconds of meeting or something, usually the woman knows where you're going to end up. Now, here's how, let's say in her mind she says no to you, you shoot your shot, or you whatever you say to try and get together with her, and she says no. Now this could be a shit test, or this could be friend zoning you. At that moment, you don't try anymore. And it's goodbye. You don't need to be her friend. She's got plenty of friends. She can poop for the next year, and she can have 365 guys waiting to wipe her ass. Don't be part of that wiping her ass thing. Leave her alone. When you do this, it's like pretty weird stuff happens. Once you say your boundary of no to the woman, because the next step for her is to put you in a friend zone, somehow that's going to elevate your status. It's going to elevate your power as the man when you could say the no. The scariest word in the English language when you're in front of a very attractive woman is to say no to her. No to her. Chad says no all the time. Because the dynamic with Chad now is that she simps for him. So if the hot chick can't keep Chad, she's going to poop all over you. And it is miserable. You got to do it for your own self-preservation. Oh, you'll thank me for this. Oh my goodness. And a lot of people making these videos, they kind of tell you, how this dynamic goes, but you get to find out how you become grimy in this. Now, another thing, when I've seen some of these MGTOW, I don't know, one of them is strong, successful man, whatever, males. And they make these stories, and you know what? Almost every story, he talks about the guy, and he goes, he's a good guy. He's a good guy. And my thing is, you're not. Because if you're a simp, then you're a closet narcissist, closet psychopath, or narc, or covert narc. Narcissist. Yeah, you're not a good guy. You're not a good guy. Get that into your head. If you're simping for women, you are not a good guy. You know who the good guy is? The good guy is the guy that can say no and walk away. And I know it's going to be hard because, like, you might see her all the time, and you're pining for her. You know, women think different than men. And an attractive woman, a very attractive woman, gets a lot of eyeballs looking at her. She gets a lot of male attention. And this male attention pulls the woman away from her inner self. And you could say the sometimes the prettier they are, they get super hot. You know, it also follows the crazy and super hot for the women go together because no one tells them no. They never get no. The only no's they get is from Chad. Chad tells them no because Chad has a lot of them. And it's not like Chads are super successful either. You know, it's still the woman can get so much attention. It's unbelievable the amount of attention women can get. Unbelievable. So if you're going to sit there and simping for her, you're out of your mind. The more attention she's going to get, the more energy you have to give to her. The more energy. And that energy could be in money, time, and sometimes even listening to the super crazy that might come out of her mouth. So, well, what kind of woman do you want to look for? You want to look for a woman that doesn't focus so much on the exterior. You want her, I'm not saying for you to, to go after someone that has hair in the armpits or smells or anything like that. Let's keep it real. But if she spends too much time to prepare herself, does she wear tons of makeup? Maybe find a woman that doesn't like to wear the makeup, but still looks good. If you're attracted to the woman. Maybe she doesn't wear nail polish. Maybe she's sophisticated and looks good and you like, but she's not like painting it on thick. Because as the man, you will have a better relationship with someone that's not so exterior. It's not only on the exterior, because then if the woman's only on the exterior, then her identity is wrapped up on everything outside her body. That means that there's no emotion, no feeling. She's not in her body. She's out here. She's on the periphery of what she gets from the outside. And that's why attractive women like this have a lot of simps. Because the simps, they keep her there. They keep her there. Guys that spend so much time doing this keep the woman also. The simps is what ruins the women. because the simps give extra validation, and with the extra validation that the woman needs, she goes, oh well, I got to get Chad. That's where her eyes are. I got to get Chad. Because the simps kind of they make it so she comes out. Now, I've been doing this for a long time, but when I was 16 years old, I knew this right away, and I would tell this to all my friends, especially like when I started going out, let's say 18, and we'd be hanging out on the boulevard. I said, don't look at the women, don't stare at them, don't do it. If she's not going to come with you, don't even look at her, because by looking at her, you're creating the desire, you're idolizing her, and then you put her on this huge pedestal where she can poop on your head and you'll be okay with it. Don't do it. You lose all your power as the man. Remember, let us make man in our image, male and female. So it's God the Father, Jesus, man, woman, children. God set up this hierarchy. Jesus said it all the time. I honor my Father. Who is the head of man? Jesus. Who's the head of the woman? Man. Who's the head of the children? Woman. This hierarchy has to be maintained. So, as the man, how are you the image of truth when you're going to simp for the woman and just wait for her to fall a little bit and then grab her? Grimy. And the women know it. The women know it. So, stop simping. Because the simp or giving energy to the woman that you're not going to be in a relationship with, don't do it at all. Let her figure it out. Leave her alone. Leave her alone. Let's say you're in a relationship. Let's say you finally do get a relationship with a very attractive woman. Somehow, within the first, let's say 3 to 6 months, you're going to get something I call a shit test. You're going to get a shit test. And the shit test is how the hierarchy is established. This is the point where, are you a man or not? So I had a friend of mine. He's no longer a friend because, usually when you help somebody in some things in their life and it really works, they don't want you to be around anymore because you know where the bodies are buried, figuratively. So my friend was dating this woman, and what happened was she broke up with him. She broke up with him, and she went to her ex for something. The reason she did it is sometimes what the women do is they create this tension because they don't want to stay in the relationship with the guy and they want to maintain control. So she broke up with him. So what he tried to do is he tried to grimy go to her friends to try and work himself back into her. I said to him, don't do none of that stuff. Don't do none of that stuff. You broke up, don't send any emails, don't call, don't talk, don't find out about her, don't ask about her, don't check, no checks. Don't check if she's alive, nothing. Zero contact. Because if it is a shit test, the only way that you're going to be, or I call it like the man check to make sure you're the man, is that you just say, okay, that's your decision, goodbye. Because whatever it is, if she thought about it and that's the decision, let her go. Goodbye. She called back in a drunken stupor and they kind of mended. Because if it's supposed to be together, something's going to happen. Something's going to happen. You have to be the hierarchy of the man. And let me tell you, it's very hard to do this, especially if, you know, you're not the best looking guy, you're not the tallest guy, you don't have the most money, or you don't have a lot of money. But I'll tell you one thing. If you're playing video games, forget it. Because video games is feminine. It's feminine energy. And if you're going to be playing video games, you become invisible. You become invisible. Not only do you become invisible, but you're taking your time and you're getting zero return on your time. Do something with your life. Do something. Find some path or hobby that you could do, that you can work or make money at. If you have to do a job because, you know, that's what you got, fine, do the job, then try and figure something out. Because as the man, we don't have too much support as the man. It's tough love. You're going to lose, let's say, everything you have 2, 3 times, 4 times. And you're going to find out that you're not going to get the help that if a woman just stubs her toe. So you have to be very careful to make sure that you are in truth. And with that truth, you know how to say no. And God will sort everything else out. God will sort it out. You think you're in control of your destiny. When you're in control of your destiny, if you really think you're in control of your destiny, and you're the guy that has in control, then you're going to be lying. I do not want to be in control of my destiny if it entails lying. Rather, it's God's problem. And what my thing is truth. This is the light. This is the burden for me, is truth. Truth is my burden, to carry truth. Hold on to truth. Keep truth alive. And multiply truth, because you have to give it out. You have to multiply the truth. And what's going to happen is God's going to give back to you. And you got to have miracles in your life. My life is all miracles. Let me tell you. You would not believe. I can't even say some of these the stories on this, because if I do, you're just not going to believe it. You won't believe it. How things just work out. And the things that kind of hold me back, they're holding me back because to keep me out of trouble. To keep me out of a bigger trouble. Like I had this business arrangement with this guy in 2018. And we were buying his pasta machine business. But he turned out to be a full-on narcissist. And what happened was, just when he thought that he got us, I pulled the rug out from under him. We had big blowouts because he was a liar. And this was 2018. So then if I kept on going for 2 years, then we would have been in 2020, and we would have lost all our money with this moron. But instead, what God did was, He allowed us to have this big fight in 2018. We parted from him, and he ended up losing the building that he had, and pretty much the business and the building, because, you know, God is righteous. God is righteous, and truth is the number one thing. So if you want to have relationships with women, and your power as the man is truth, that means that you say things that are sometimes offensive because they need to be said. Another quick story. I'm in a bar one day. I might have said this before. Even the other story I said. I'm in a bar one day, and there's a woman there, and she was younger, and what she was doing was, you know, had her friends there, had a whole group of people, And then she looked to me and she goes, "What do you think of my haircut?" Now I know she wasn't interested in me, and that was okay. But her haircut looked very masculine. And I said, "You know something?" I said, "You should let your hair grow a bit because your forehead's showing too much and it looks masculine." When I said that to her, she lost her mind. She was never told something like, she totally lost her mind. She brought 3 guys over, one at a time, to try and instigate them to beat me up. And these guys were monsters. She found the 3 biggest guys. So these dopes showed up, taller than me, showed up there. She said, "Tell them what happened." And I said, "Yeah." I said this. One of the guys was confused. Of course he was. And 2 of the guys laughed. But look at the extent that this attractive woman did to try and make me pay for me telling her the truth. Got to be real careful. When the women are pretty, crazy kind of goes with it. You know, sometimes that crazy is offset if she has a good father, not mother. The father. The father makes the woman, not the mother. The mother will only make feminists. Single mothers make daughters into feminists. Fathers make daughters into women. Father teaches the respect, teaches the woman how to be more of a woman, not the mother. So, to offset crazy, you have to get to know the father. The father will tell you the level of crazy that the woman's going to have. Very attractive woman we're talking about. This is why not to chase them. Because you'll end up being a simp because you're thinking that being nice to her is going to be good. It's not. You're not nice. You're grimy. Remember that. When you're trying to be nice to a woman and simping for her, you're grimy and sneaky. And they know it. And they punish you for it. They punish you for it. I can't keep saying this enough. That if you're going to chase these women, you can't give them the feminine nice. Because what you're doing is you're not giving the masculine. Let me get another piece of paper. When you're being nice to the woman, you're giving her the torso feminine energy. You're not giving the masculine. This is what you're giving. You're giving feminine energy when you are being a simp. You got to understand that's what you're doing. You're not a good guy. I'm not saying you're a bad guy, but just understand you're not a good guy when you're simping. You're not the nice guys get shit on, and they need to be shit on if they're using the niceness with covert narcissist intention. Leave the women alone. You ask them, they say no, dump them. In fact, I tell you what, if you have one and they friend zone you, what you do is, okay, great, introduce me to some of your friends, and let's see what she does. Let's see what she does. If the woman says to you that you're just a friend, then you ask her for her friends. Hey, because any friend wants to help out a friend, right? That's what you do. Think about this. Think about this. And don't run game on the women. Don't run game. Be truthful. If whatever you want to do, tell her. You like her to go out, tell her. Exactly. And if she says no and walks away, good. But who cares? Because you keep your masculine power. Remember, nice guys finish last because they're sneaky underneath. Don't be nice. Be good. And if you're good, you're going to speak the truth. And that's really the message, so that you don't end up as a simp. Encourage you to try this stuff. Guarantee it's going to, well, I can't guarantee, can't promise anything, but let's just say this will work. This will work. This will give you more self-respect. You'll get more power. You will grow as a man and come into your own true identity. Hope this is helpful. God bless.